Formula One Miami GP 2024 full race recap straight after it. I'm just going to do a quick fire recap of all the notes that we took and everything that happened. It's a great day to be a McLaren fan, but also unlucky at the same time. Now, point one, no crashes in the opening lap. It was clean, thank goodness. And then there was a masterclass move by Oscar Piastri straight in the start of the race for P3. And then lap 4, made a second place move against Leclerc. Loved it. And then there was also a possible false start from Perez as well, which was a bit unfortunate. Lap 8 saw a crazy battle between Hülkenberg and Hamilton, where they were just hashing it out for 7th place. They'll lose a place and gain it back. Love to see it. Lap 12, Russell passes Hülkenberg for 9th place. So again, still within the points. Hülkenberg and then Pierre Gasly actually then both pitted for lap 13, changed to the hard tyres. Then lap 18, we had Perez who pits, changed to the hard tyres. Lap 20, same for Leclerc as well. He pits, changed for the hard tyres. Max hits the bollard in lap 22. This was a sign where I knew once something like this happened, things were going to really start switching up for the race. And then there was a virtual safety car.
It was a cone. It was a cone.
Well, they did say that it was a bollard. It's the same thing as a bollard. That's what it's called. A virtual safety car on lap 23, but it didn't even last a lap. The marshals came, cleared up the track, got rid of it, really good. Then, for some reason, Max pits on the same lap 23 after the virtual safety car was done, changed to hard tyres. Lap 25 saw Pierre Gasly leading in pole position for a good amount of time as well. And then lap 27, Hamilton pits and changes to the medium tyres, which is strange in terms of the switch around. Lap 27 saw Pierre Gasly, Oscar Piastri and Sainz both pitting and both changing to the hard tyres. Piastri was actually ahead at that time. Then lap 28, Norris then was actually interval pole. Then we saw the yellow flag happen because there was a crash between Logan Sargent and Kevin Magnussen, full safety car deployed. And this was more potential fault on Kevin's side by the looks of it. And then 4 laps later, lap 33, green flag, race was back on. And then lap 40, you had Oscar Piastri and Sainz battling for 4th place. And then on lap 40, Piastri was actually down to 7th and potentially a front wing damage from the battle he had with Sainz. That's when you got unlucky. The pit stop on lap 40 was ending up being very long, around almost just under 11 seconds. And then race pretty much came in with a nice 7+ seconds gap. P1, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen P2, Charles Leclerc P3, and P4, Carlos Sainz. Listen. As a McLaren fan, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. Yeah, of course. Yeah, happy.
Why are you happy? Even I am happy.
Well, I'm happy, man. Why would you not be happy? I mean, look, Piastri got unlucky. He did get unlucky. It's the same with
strategic blunder, though, isn't it? Like you have to look at it. It was strategic blunder.
Nah, he got unlucky. There was nothing strategic about that. He got unlucky. He was battling it out. And then his wing got clipped. That was nothing strategic about your wing getting clipped.
Yeah, he came back too quick. Unfortunate.
Yeah, man.
He should have pitted earlier as well. Should have pitted earlier.
When
I say strategic blunder, he should have pitted probably 2 laps before he did. Because at one point, he was race leader. He was up there. And he actually had it. He had, for a car with no upgrades, he did really well.
It has half the upgrades. And I've got to say, in these things, you can't really tell where things are going to go. Who would have expected that Max would actually hit a con? Of all the drivers on the track, Max has performed amazing the whole year. I didn't even believe that Max did it. If it wasn't for the replay, wouldn't have believed it. But I've got to say,
I agree.
Because I did an amazing
I did
job.
say that. No, I agree with you, TK, because I said I didn't see Max making a mistake, and then he did. That's when you saw the shift. So yeah, I'm gonna take the win as an outright good day for McLaren, even though they went out of points on Piastri. Piastri got unlucky. It's a shame, but you know what? This is the shift that we needed. And I talked about these little things happening. I'm taking it, man.
Okay. Look, I came dressed for the occasion for a change. I'm dressed for the occasion. However, we have to talk about that combine harvester and what it's not doing.
Can we just make it clear? Are you shifting teams because Norris won?
No. Ben doesn't own anything orange, so I came in
For him, of course.
I'm
Of course.
I'm repping the side. Look, it's red underneath here too. It's still red. It's still red. No. That combined harvest, though, there's genuinely something wrong with it. Last year? No, we had porpoising. Now we've got just slow. There's no way K-Mag should be battling with Hamilton on any given day. Okay, the Haas is a baby Ferrari, but that car is just crap. I don't care what anyone says.
I do agree, but then when you look at the position changes from where they started and where they finished, I think Lewis gained a position, George lost a position. It's just running in that middle field. I do agree. It's racing with the wrong cars. We've seen a lot of battles between Lewis and Haas's this weekend, one too many than we deserve to see for a team that has won so many championships. But it's clear that they're actually lacking in their development section. They need to do better.
Yeah, it's I agree, but to be fair, I think they did a lot better than I was expecting. Yeah, personally, I think they did a lot better than I was expecting, because if you look at where Lewis finished, he finished 6th, right, and then Russell finished 8th. It's not great by their standards, but to be fair, that's way better than I was expecting for this race. So do I say just take it and go? No, especially when you're sandwiched by Yuki Tsunoda. Nothing against Yuki, but you shouldn't be getting sandwiched by a guy there. But at the same time, way better than I was expecting for the state of the cars from Mercedes.
So let me just put it out there now. Can you both now agree that Latifi needs to come back?
Not 100%. So that wasn't Sargent's fault.
No. Don't say
that
100%.
wasn't Sargent's fault.
So you know Latifi needs to come back, because I need someone to fill that gap.
Yeah, but this one, Kevin Magnussen deserves the title for penalty boy. He racked up 25 seconds from sprint, and then he just kept racking up stuff. And to be fair, this time round, you can't blame Logan. I look at it. It was a very unorthodox place to land your car, plant your car blindside inside. He didn't see him. So even when you look at the camera angle, from peripheral vision, he wouldn't have seen him. So nah, Kevin has had a blunder this weekend, man. He raced hard. I appreciate the fact that he was racing hard during sprint, but overall, it wasn't clean and he's had a blunder. It's not been a good look for him, man.
Did he race hard, or is he just a bit salty that his teammate's moving? So he now has to look at the potential future of him being stuck with someone else who might have more experience than him. Do you think? I think that's where it's going. He might
not necessarily get someone who's more experienced than him.
Who's he going to get?
We might actually get someone new to come in. Remember, this is Haas. They do not have the money to pay the top guns in this game.
Yeah, but it's a baby Ferrari. They've got the speed.
Baby dinosaur does not bite the same as a big dinosaur.
I like that. I will say he raced hard on sprint. I don't think he raced well overall this weekend, personally. And somehow he ended up with the better straw of the stick by not DNFing, which is just how the sport is. So, it was majority a clean race. But I just think that what this now shows is that the question that happened with the technical analysis on F1 channel when I was watching it is that, can McLaren bring the fight to Red Bull? I don't think outright completely. I think they still need a bit of luck for it to be the case. Why I say that is, if you look now, if any of those McLaren cars get in front of the Red Bulls, they can gap them fairly. The gap just kept opening up from like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4. It ended up finishing on 7 seconds.
But so what upgrades did he have?
I don't know what upgrades they had. It might be an error.
Whatever upgrades they had, they were.
Oh, yeah. Oh, proper.
And I love the sport when a team promises to actually say, we're bringing upgrades to Miami, and you can clearly see it in their pace on the race day to actually say, right, they are actually right. They predicted right, and they're making all the right steps.
But then you look further down the field. So the two French boys, I don't know. Like I've called it from day one. Those two clowns, they either need to be locked in a room, fight it out, and not fight and track the way they did today, or the team principal just needs to let them do what they do best, because they're now becoming toxic to each other. Like, I can't watch Alpine race like that. And bear in mind, Alpine or Renault, whatever you want to call it, they have enough between them to actually score points. But because they're constantly infighting, they can't even be on the same wavelength. Tsunoda, like, think of it. Would you ever say, between the three of us, no one would say Ocon and Gasly will get outdone by Tsunoda? I wouldn't.
But you see, I'm finally glad Yuki's developing. He's in his cool head era. Finally, right? I'm just glad. And the thing is, if you watch Drive to Survive, when Gasly left, this is one thing that he said to Yuki. Yuki just needs to learn how to have a cool head, right? And come into his own, because he can do it. But we all know this, it's the part of him that we like. But at the same time, he needs a cool head. And he's shown it. And I love to see it. Personally, Alpine can stay where they are, because I'm just happy that McLaren is now moving away from them. There was just a period of time where they were the ones just making McLaren look like they weren't really a team worth doing. And I keep going back to it. My biggest salt point with McLaren was how they didn't make the Honda partnership work. Not because of just their history, but it's just, bro, Honda, man, they know what they're doing when it comes to that. And they proved it with how they made Red Bull, win so much, afterwards. So I'm just glad finally it's materializing. Like, and
Look,
it's a good look. I'm taking it for what it is.
So TK, as our resident Mr. I'm gonna eat my hat guy, how was that race for you?
That race for me was actually quite entertaining. It's very unfortunate that our cars didn't have the pace that we needed, especially in the corners. But all in all, Lando Norris took it home. It's been a very long time coming. It's been 952 days since the Russian race where he decided not to pit in for wet tires. And I'm sure for those 952 days, he's kicked himself. And today he sleeps like a baby.
So where Max ended, do you think that Red Bull's now starts? And again, the weekend's been plagued with Adrian Newey leaving, him then winning the sprint. Do you think overall it's got in his head
of a breakdown?
No, not a breakdown. Do you call it a breakdown? As an understatement. There is something going on at Red Bull internally. That's not working.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't say a breakdown, but I always say this, right? You need some form of glitches in a matrix to cause certain things and cause certain shift. This is a glitch that we needed. You can't outright say the Red Bull team, minus the opening lap of Perez just doing too much and Piastri capitalizing in that move that he did. This is not an outright blunder by Red Bull. I don't personally believe that. But what the McLaren team have to see is this, that wherever there's a glitch on their side, that's their time to pounce. Yeah. They need to go for it. And when they do and they get in front, they are outright faster than Red Bull. Not maybe just a little. No, outright faster. This is their time. Capitalize and turn those into maybe 2 to 3 Grand Prix wins. Oh, yeah, now we're in.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think they're actually doing that, because with that pit move, which confused the safety car, even everyone was confused what was happening there. And McLaren were there to pick up the pieces to say, look, if we can get a 10-second shorter pit stop, we will do it. We're there. And I think it would have actually been better if they had managed Piastri's pit strategy better.
Let's talk AMR Racing. The AMR team. Aston Martin Racing. Talk about them.
Brother.
Yeah. Because Alonso did finish with points. He was in 9th place.
Yeah.
It was in 9th place. But then, Stroll was in 17th.
Yeah, but
this is the car that was finishing right behind Red Bull what happened to their development
That's what I want to know.
It's not
that
developing.
whole department has gone.
No, because this car, on paper, outperforms the Mercedes.
We're not racing on paper. We're racing on track here.
No, but if you look car for car, these two cars are identical, and these two cars now are having the same issues. It's not the drivers. There's definitely something wrong with the development of both cars, because I would have thought AMR would have brought upgrades to this race, not the next couple of races, because Alonso, as much as he's a fighter, he's just has that car is not performing the way it did in the last two races. Lance Stroll is just, he's the new Nicholas Latifi, just richer.
Listen, Stroll, bro, if his dad ain't running the thing, he wouldn't be there. But anyway, that's another conversation.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, but you have to think, like, gents, I'm genuinely now more worried. Last year, AMR were that team. They were going to...
Yeah. Oh, that's why I said, like, give us the breakdown.
Like a Haas. Because they are like, I don't know what's baby Mercedes.
I don't know what's going on. And it's not completely out of the woodworks, but it kind of is, because if you're on the bottom end of the top 10 and then on the bottom end of the bottom 10, right? It's not a good combination to what you were at the start, where you were finishing third, second, really coming up there, you know? So, yeah, they need to look at this themselves and see how they're going to turn this up, not just with upgrades, but also just with just their tactical play, you know? Looking
I'll
at
ask you a question.
Yeah.
Both of you, I want one worded answer from this one. What the hell is going on at Williams?
No, I think what's at Williams is what's at Williams. To be fair, I think how they're performing is what I was expecting from them. I don't know. I wasn't expecting anything more special out of the Williams team. I know it sounds harsh, but I wasn't expecting them to be a sneaky compete like what Haas are being, right? Haas are the sneaky compete team. You know, I wasn't expecting that from Williams, because I just don't think their development has been there. Whereas Haas has been the sneaky compete team, where whenever we see them week in, week out, we're always surprised by how you lot getting, you know, bullied around by Haas's or disturbed by Haas. And I love that. You know, I love that for them. You know, I just wish Gunter was there to have that time, but I don't know. I don't know if you think anything different, TK, but this is what I was expecting from Williams.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It's a shame, for starters, it's a shame that Gunter's not around after developing and making sure this. You should be here to enjoy these moments.
To enjoy this, man.
But as for Williams, I don't know what happened. I actually expected better.
Really?
And because Albon started 13th and dropped all the way to 19th. Something happened during that race. He and we never actually got much screen time of him. The only Williams we actually saw is the one that went off the track backways. But if I would actually say anything about Williams for this race, I would actually just say, you know what, it's probably bad luck. And having Logan in that second seat, probably Logan brings the bad luck.
And your thoughts on Ferrari?
Don't, because
third and fourth.
Yeah, but bro, third and fourth means nothing when you can hear. And you know what? It's the first time it's the one and only time I'm gonna back Sainz. He had the quicker car.
Yeah.
Whatever was happening on the pit lane is typical Ferrari. The driver that we've got for the longest will keep them in front. If they allowed them to switch positions, I think we would have seen Sainz chase Lando. He'd have overtook Max, definitely, and he would have chased Lando. Everything going on at Ferrari right now is frustrating, because you look at Leclerc. He's in contract to 2029. He's in there for a lifetime. He's not the quicker driver. His car just struggles. He's struggling mentally, I think. I think it's a mental block now. He's struggling mentally. It's rare where you see a driver run away with it all the time. And he's had to watch Max run away with it all the time. And I think it's affected him. Because now Sainz, the moment Sainz knew he didn't have a seat, look at him. The guy's driving he's driving better than he drove when he actually had a seat. So you're like, right, what's going on? I think Ferrari have made a big mess up in not giving Sainz a seat over Leclerc. I'm a Leclerc fan through and through, but I think I don't know, they've just, something says to me, wherever Sainz ends up, that man is going to be great. And as fans, we're going to go, maybe you should have stayed at Ferrari. Like, I don't know.
I think for me, with the Ferrari investment, it's just off the back that it's almost like honoring Jules Bianchi, one, rest his soul. The age thing, and Leclerc is a great driver. I've always said this. Ferrari have a car to win a championship. They are tactically a bit meh, in my opinion. And I think Leclerc, there's just a final part of him of absolute clinical razor sharpness that he lacks, in my opinion. You know,
he doesn't have the killer instinct. That's what.
Yeah, there's a final bit of killer instinct that you want to see in him. They just doesn't have. Sainz, funny enough, has that. But Sainz has developed it because I think he's just tired of everyone thinking he's just a nice guy.
He's fighting
That's
for his
what
life.
I think. Yeah, I think he has that in him now because he's just tired of people just thinking he's a nice guy. So anyway.
But is it because he's been in this position before?
Yeah, but the thing is, the decision's already been made. Lewis is coming in, it's going to be with Leclerc. But at the same time, it's one of those where Ferrari just have to look at themselves and think, even if our driver or our main driver, Charles Leclerc at the moment, doesn't have that final criticalness, we really just need to clean up our tactical play to just help him get over that line. You see, and this is what McLaren have been able to do, where it just allows their guys to really shine. And it works. Piastri, I'll be honest, if we're going to wrap this up and name our drivers that we preferred for this race, I'll be honest, I'm happy for Lando. I really am. But my driver of the day was Oscar Piastri. That kid was just like planting himself in places he shouldn't have been, making moves he shouldn't have been. That's the sign of like a future winner on a consistent basis, you know? So for me, Piastri, but obviously I'm happy for my McLaren boys, man. I'm taking that Lando as well. What about you, TK?
I would definitely agree with you. This is a clean slate for McLaren. They get the first race win for Lando. Piastri, to be quite honest, if everything went his way, it would have been an amazing day for them. And also the team, they made the right calls at the right time.
I have to agree. Piastri had the race. He had the correct race strategy with half the upgrades. And that's what you almost want to see, because when you look at how these upgrades come through, up until the end of the race, you don't really know how it panned out. That he drove like he should have. But there's one driver we all haven't mentioned, and we're going to wrap it up with him, the Honey Badger. Like...
Yeah, no, Ricardo. I give it to him. He had a good sprint weekend. He finished 15th, but again, that's what makes sprint a good concept. You know, sometimes those cars and those teams that work great over a shorter period can get some points and get some momentum and shine on their team, and it's great. He said it himself. It's great that he was able to remind people that, hey, I'm still about that. And, you know, when he got to the back, Piastri, you know, Ricardo wasn't giving him any space. He was telling him that, bro, you're not getting past me, you know, to the point where the team had to remind him that, yo, I know you're at the back and now you've got yourself in this battle with Ricardo, but chill out. Like, we don't want safety cars to ruin, you know. So Ricardo, I do agree. Mentioning him, it's good that he carried that kind of same spirit into full race day. Cool. So the trio are together for the first time. We've pretty much had our wrap up. This is Formula One GP for Miami 2024. Absolutely loved it. Again, Miami's not my favorite circuit, but I would take it as the circuit that put McLaren back on the map for Lando to win his first one. Schedule-wise, we've got the Italian Grand Prix from the 17th to the 19th, and then Monaco from the 24th to the 26th, my birthday week. It's a busy one.
Scrap it. They need to scrap Miami as a sprint race going forward.
Yeah, I mean, sprint, we'll see how the scheduling and the points will work for that. But for May, we have a busy schedule, so watch out for more reactions from us here at Lover of Cars. And we will, of course, catch you in the next one. Peace.